All right, good afternoon. Well, it's been raining pretty steadily all day today. Been kind of cool. So I figured today would be a good opportunity to do a video I've been meaning to do for a little while. And that is, when do I start growing crops for this season? So it's March 1st. So I'm starting to see some flowers outside. We've been having some warmer weather in the 60s. And so spring fever, I'm sure, is hitting a lot of people. So, if we're talking about your greens, lettuce, kale, collards, Swiss chard, arugula, maybe some of your Asian greens even. Now, if you have not already started seedlings, or seeds for seedlings, now is when you want to be doing that stuff. If you look at the days to maturity for most of these crops, you're looking at somewhere between like 30 to 60 days. So a month to 2 months before your crops are quote unquote mature. Now, as we all know, with lettuce mixes, with kale, collard, Swiss chard, any of these things, you can harvest them wherever. If you want baby greens or teenage greens, adult greens, whatever, you can harvest them wherever they are in their growth stage. Stuff like radishes, turnips, leeks, onions, beets, carrots, stuff like that. All that stuff can be seeded now, regardless of whether you're talking about like a raised bed, or out in the field, or in a high tunnel. So, so you want to bear in mind, if you're going to be starting seeds and then transplanting them, if you don't have a high tunnel or a greenhouse, you want to make sure that they get plenty of light. And they're consistently watered. So the best thing to do, get yourself a tray, get yourself some good dirt, a potting medium. Go ahead and start your seeds, water them, and if you have some grow lights inside, put them under the grow lights. If you don't have a ton of trays, you could also seed them and then you could transport them outside during the day and bring them inside if it's going to be too cold at night. For the next 7-10 days, the temperature is not supposed to get below freezing, so you'd be safe leaving them outside. And it's raining, so they're going to get plenty of rain over this weekend and on into next week. Now, if you want a faster germination time and whatnot, definitely keep them inside, and they will germinate faster in a warmer environment. You can also put a grow mat under them. If you don't have a ton of seedlings that you're needing to get started. If you do have a bunch of seedlings, and you want to use that grow mat for all of them, you can put, let's say 4 or 5 trays on the grow mat. Let them germinate, and as soon as you see them popping up through the soil, take them off, put the next set on. So that way it will it'll cause things to be slightly staggered, but it'll cause the growth to happen much quicker if you do it that way. So don't be surprised, if you're direct seeding crops outside. It may take them, a little bit longer to germinate if we have temperature swings, which is something that can happen in the springtime. But yeah, March is usually the target date that I try to be transplanting crops outside. So if you're not in the mood, or you don't want to start your seedlings or start your plants from seed, you can always go to different nurseries. Usually March, April is a time frame when The nurseries are bursting with all different types of spring crops. So you can purchase your plants there, bring them home, plant them, and start growing that way. Generally speaking, if you're seeding crops outside, your days to maturity, something to keep in mind is those are from when the plant pops up from the ground and whatnot. That does not include the days you've waited for the crop or the plant to germinate. So you may have an extra 7, 10, 14 days of a wait period while these plants are germinating. Once your plants have germinated, or once they're growing, they're past their baby stage, their first 2 little baby leaves are there, then your first 2 true leaves are there, your second pair of true leaves. If you're transplanting, or even if it's direct seeding, it's come up, you'll want to start fertilizing. There's a lot of starter fertilizers that are out there that you can either spray directly on the plant as a foliar application, or you can do a granular application of fertilizer, mix it into the soil before you start planting. Till it in, disc it in. But then you're just going to want to keep an eye on your transplants. Usually for me, I fertilize them about once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. But I'm really just watching the plant. If I see the plant, starting to turn yellow or purple or whatnot, I know it's nutrient deficient, and so then I will try to apply the fertilizer that the plant needs at that time. So, yeah. A lot of things with agriculture, is just watching the plant, watching the crop, and keeping your pulse on how the crop is doing. So, yeah. So, in summary, March, if you have not already started your seedlings, all of your greens, your root vegetables, beets, carrots, turnips, radishes, all of those crops can be started now. So yeah, go out there, start planting, and enjoy making mud pies.